Hey everyone, parents out there, Adventure Dad here, and really looking forward to this particular video. It's something that's really close to my heart. It's really going to be about taking an Egyptian theme and interjecting some excitement, some adventure, some danger to it to really help make whatever you're planning, whether it's an Egyptian theme party, or maybe even something for the classroom, or just a fun family time, really making it a lot of fun. Again, especially for those teens and tweens. So let's get right down and start. First off, if by chance this is for a party, you may consider in the invitations themselves including something in there to help set the scene. That this isn't going to be just a regular party that you're inviting them to. As we go through the different ideas, I'll try to think of a couple ideas as we're going of what to put in invitations. It could be like a newspaper clipping that you make up. It could be a piece of an old manuscript, something, you know, like an old piece of paper, and it could be, it's got some translations on it. Something that'll get them thinking, hey, this is going to be something different. Different is good. Okay, first off, food. How can you make food exciting? Well, this is what you do. First off, this is just something fun. You know, cheesy maybe, but still, you know, even though you do it, the kids really love it, and teens love it too. If you get those plastic rings, the spider rings, you know, that has like a black spider, and you get them at through Oriental Trading for a few bucks for a bag. I mean, they're really cheap. I say the spiders because the legs are really long, and that's really important. Cut off the ring part, just get scissors and cut it off because it's cheap plastic. Put them inside ice cube trays and fill them up with water. And then just make your ice. That's the ice for your party. And then when they actually, you know, when you have the, you break out the ice and you put them in your drink, you've got a spider inside of the ice cube. Again, kind of cheesy, but it's still fun, and they still laugh about it, they talk about it. Those long legs come in handy because it's going to be virtually impossible for anybody to choke on one of those things, because those legs, they won't even be able to get it inside their mouth. But still, you got that nice spider that'll be inside the drink. If they don't notice it right away, it can be kind of fun because they'll be wondering how the spider got in their drink. Second thing with food, check out online. You can check other places that sell exotic meats, but alligator meat. Yes, alligator meat. Now, you may think, I don't know how to cook alligator meat. That's all right. It doesn't matter. Take your favorite pasta dish and just put some alligator meat in it. Whatever kind of dish maybe you would normally put chicken in, just put some alligator meat instead of the chicken. It makes it really exciting, especially if your kids know that it really is alligator meat. They can challenge each other to eat it. They can challenge you to eat it. It's kind of a mild flavor. It's not super strong, so it's not going to be anything overpowering. It just becomes something fun to do. Okay, now, I'm going to attack this as though you're throwing an Egyptian theme party for the rest of these ideas. You can take these ideas and extract them and put them into a classroom. You can use them individually for just a cool family time. However you use them, that's okay, but I have to put them in some kind of format so that I can explain exactly how to use them. First one, using coins to complete tasks. Now, that's something that's really common in video games, and it's something that's actually really popular, even addicting for some, is you do something, you get some coins for it, and then you get a chance to spend those coins someplace else. Sounds like the real world, doesn't it? But in the video games, you're able to do it much easier, accumulate wealth much faster than in real life, much easier. You can get cheap coins like this. These are from Oriental Trading Company. You can get a bag for $4, $5. I don't know how much they're going for now. I got stacks of them I've been using for years. They're shiny. They're fun to hold on to. Different activities, different games, anything that you have going on, award these coins. The better you do, perhaps if you get first place in a race or whatever, you give them more coins for completing that. Then you give them ways to spend it, and that's a lot of fun too. It could be through special desserts. It could be, if it's for your kids, maybe they get out of chores. They can stay up late one night. Fun ways to spend it. Also, a creative way for earning them is have them make things. If arts and crafts aren't a huge, if your kids aren't super into that kind of thing, this is a great way to get them to participate in those kind of activities. have them make something. Maybe it's an Egyptian themed necklace. Maybe it's anything. The bracelets, you can see crafts online, all different kinds of stuff that you can do within an Egyptian theme, and then have them sell them to the marketplace. Then give them coins for it. This next idea is really exciting. Ask around. This may take a few phone calls and maybe some arranging, but it can go a long way. We all have friends who have pets. Some have a dog and cat. Others have rats, rabbits, birds. Some have snakes. See if you can find someone who has a pet snake who wouldn't mind bringing their snake to the party just to show your kids. It's amazing. You know, you see a snake through glass, but when someone's actually holding a snake and it's moving around, it's a totally different ball game. And that'll really challenge your teens too, to have them touch it, maybe allow them to hold it. Depending on the owner of the snake, they know the temperament of that snake that they own and what that snake will feel comfortable with. Obviously, you don't want to aggravate the snake. But that can be very, very exciting. Even if it's just for 15 minutes, a quick stopover, it can go a long way. The next thing is making translation cards or sheets of paper, something that will have different Egyptian hieroglyphs on them and their translations. Now, if you do that, if you pass them out, you can give them out in the invitations. You can provide them for your kids or guests at the party, or maybe for a family time. These are some that we offer. It goes with our stele, but you can see it says names on it. We've got some with city names. These are a lot of fun to carry around, because this is what you do. They don't just carry it around. That's not a whole lot of fun. But what you do is you get sheets of cardboard, spray paint them gold, using a black Sharpie marker, draw different Egyptian hieroglyphs from your list, from whatever you create as your research, as your translation card, and hide them throughout the house. And then it becomes part of a game, kind of a free roaming game or activity without really a time limit, just to see how many of these panels they can find and translate. Guarantee you, it's a lot of fun. And if you want to make it even more exciting, turn out the lights. Make sure it's at night, otherwise it's not really going to have a great effect to turn out the lights. Turn out the lights and give them flashlights. Have them go around looking on the walls and looking for the panels. Talk about easy to set up. You just hide them in different places around the house, turn out the lights, and now they're inside of a tomb. That will be the feel. Add some extra music too, some Egyptian theme music, or maybe some Halloween background music that would be appropriate, and you got a really great activity that's exciting, and yet at the same time it's easy to do. This next set of ideas revolves around creating some type of adventure, some type of treasure hunt, something to do, something exciting to actually participate in. This is something closer to my heart because it's what I do for a living, and I'm hoping that these ideas right here will inspire you to go just beyond the traditional Egyptian themed party ideas for your kids, for your friends. Okay, number one, make it exciting. Now, okay, yeah, that's the whole point of this video, got it, whatever. But if you're planning a treasure hunt, don't say, hey, now we're going to do a treasure hunt. Give some kind of backstory. Any kid nowadays who plays video games knows what a backstory is. It's basically the story behind what they're about to participate in. If there is a certain treasure that they're looking for, explain where that treasure came from. Maybe who owned it previously. Maybe if it's never been found, then why has it never been found? What pharaoh was it associated with? All these kinds of things, they like that. It gets them into the story, helps them to understand where they're going to be at. These backstories are things that I know kids talk about on the playground, in the classroom. They understand it, they like it, it really draws them in. It's a language that they understand. Use it as a part of your treasure hunt, or your if you're going to elevate it to an adventure, yeah, use that. The next piece is staging a scene at the beginning if you can. This isn't necessary, but man, when you can do this, it's incredible. Think beyond just looking for treasure if you're planning an Egyptian adventure or treasure hunt. That's why I don't like the word treasure hunt, because it locks you into, okay, I've got to find treasure. Try something like this. What if somebody, you have a volunteer, maybe an uncle, a neighbor, or someone who's dressed like an archaeologist who's going to talk about mummies, maybe pretend like they're a museum curator or an archaeologist. And then at the time that they are getting ready to start their speech, have someone else come in, like a thug or someone, and kidnap him right in the middle of their speech, or right in the beginning of the speech. Probably would be better. That way your friend, your volunteer, doesn't have to actually have any kind of lecture to learn to begin. But with all the kids, your family seeing the kidnapping and the all the excitement, all the chaos, and then now the adventure becomes about finding the professor, finding this museum curator, whoever was just kidnapped. It works the same way in a damsel in distress type of way. Something exciting, something they can see, and now because they witnessed it, they feel compelled to participate in it. And now they're not just looking for clues, they're not just looking for completing crossword puzzles, whatever is part of your a treasure hunt. Now they're saving someone's life. That's a lot more fun, a lot more tied into, again, a video game format, which kids eat up. Okay, next up, curses. And I don't mean cursing, I mean a curse associated with the treasure, with entering a tomb, with any of those things. Consider some kind of curse, preferably not one that's like, oh, you're going to die. Number one, they can see enough death, whatever. But number two is just boring. Like, oh, you're going to die, okay, whatever. They see enough of that in video games too. Give it something more. Something like you'll have bad luck. Or maybe perhaps you won't be able to travel anywhere beyond a certain radius of the temple. Something, be creative with it. Something else that you might consider is the illusion of an enemy force while they're going through the treasure hunt or an adventure. By this I mean, make it seem like someone else is, in the example of a treasure that they're looking for, make it seem like someone else is also looking for the treasure. Maybe it's a dirty art dealer who's going to take it and just sell it to the highest bidder, or melt down the gold if it's a gold object thing. By creating an enemy force, at the same time, it'll add urgency to what they're doing. They're going to want to not just complete the adventure, not just finish the treasure hunt. They're going to want to do it in a certain amount of time because they want to beat this enemy force who's also looking for it. It doesn't have to be an actual person, maybe just a note left behind. It could be a phone call that you have a neighbor call and say, and reveal themselves as this person, threatening the kids not to go looking for it because they're going to look for it and there'll be trouble if they get involved. Just something small so that they can incorporate this new character into the adventure itself. This last idea with the treasure hunt really, really is cool. Now, it seems like, whoa, it's a lot of work to do, but I'm telling you, it'll be the one thing that they'll be super excited about. They'll be telling their friends about. It'll be great. Especially if their friends are there, it'll be something that they're going to laugh about. What you do is, you have somebody dressed up like a mummy laying on a table, okay? But you stuff them with cloths, with toilet paper, anything that can make it bulky and awkward. Okay, you want it to look like it's not a person in there, preferably someone who's very thin, so that when you're stuffing it, you can kind of stuff it and they'll still kind of look real. Again, the idea is you don't want it to look like a real mummy. You want it to look like a cheesy mummy that you made. The goal being that they need to go and to take a piece of the wrapping from the mummy and then get back. Maybe there's a character who will pay them some of those gold coins for it. It could just be a dare. It could be a clue. It could be any number of things. But when they go and they go to peel off some of the wrapping, that's when the mummy wakes up. I'm telling you, I've done this before. You'll get the biggest jumps, especially if they look really awkward laying there and it looks all puffy and the arm looks like it's going the wrong way. If you make it look cheesy, it will really scare them when there's actually someone inside. And depending on how much they actually scare the kids will depend on the age. If it's a tween or a teen, just go for it. Give them a really good scare. They'll laugh about it. This is a helpful little tip too. This is cheesecloth. that you normally use maybe for cooking. I use dirty water with paints. You can use coffee tea, though coffee tea smells like coffee and tea. If you can use paints, that's best. Just get it dirty, wring it out, and dry it. And it makes great, great mummy wrapping material. As a final note too, especially if you're planning a party, consider wrapping up the adventure or the treasure hunt in with your thank you note. Instead of giving out thank you notes to the kids or your party guests, mail them, and inside there include maybe a thank you note from the professor that they rescued. Perhaps if there was a damsel in distress that they rescued, maybe a letter from her saying, you know, thank you for helping me, just to round out the story. It'll kind of put a bookend to the adventure itself, and then when they look back on it, they'll be able to see from beginning to end what the story was, how they participated, how it ended, provided great closure. These kinds of things will really take an Egyptian theme party and turn it more into an experience, something more like a movie that they get to experience, that they get to go into, interact with characters. Fun stuff. I'm really excited that I got a chance to do this video. For those that are listening, remember two important things that I always say, and that is, number one, your kids do want to spend time with you. Yes, your teens and your tweens, I'm telling you. Number two, you're still the coolest person in your child's life. Take care, everyone.